We are couple on the cut, Cindy, Michael and her furry crew member Toffee.
Good morning everyone. You join us where we left you in our last video in Atherstone, and this is where it is in the UK. So we begin our cruise leaving Atherstone and heading towards Hawkesbury Junction. Hawkesbury Junction is where the Coventry Canal meets the North Oxford Canal. Our initial intention was to get to Hawkesbury Junction and find a suitable mooring, because it was forecast to be a hot day and we didn't want to be travelling through the day. But because we had left at a decent hour and made good time, we decided to continue down the Coventry Canal, heading towards Coventry Basin.
Emmy's untying Tumbleweed so that we can be on our way. Because of leaving early morning, we said our goodbyes yesterday to some lovely friends we made while staying here, John and Carl on narrowboat Rangatira.
As we came round the corner we could see that there was a boat that had lost its mooring and that was floating in the middle of the canal. There was nothing more that we could do than to pull over and to push the boat out of the way, because it was difficult to retrieve the boat in any way to secure it to the towpath side. So there was nothing more that we could do than just to pass it and leave it where it was. I would have tried to pull the boat in, but when I got to the boat it was too far out and I couldn't reach it. I didn't have a hook long enough, so I just had to push it out of the way with my pole.
We thought this bird was just an ornament on the front of the boat.
I find it incredibly sad to see and pass sunken or abandoned boats that were once loved.
I prefer to do the locks when we're cruising the canals, but from here to Coventry Basin there aren't any locks, so I thought I'd do a bit of steering instead. There have been a couple of subscribers who said they would like to see me steering. Well, here you go. I love seeing allotments. I suppose it's because my granddad used to have one, and seeing them brings back memories of him.
Just before we reached Hawkesbury Junction, we caught up with two hire boats, and these hire boats had passengers and were travelling very slow. They could travel slower than we could because they had electric engines, which allowed them to go a little slower than our tick-over, but we were happy to follow and wait behind. We didn't expect them to move out of the way or speed up, because their passengers were enjoying the journey and had paid money for it. When we approached the outskirts of Coventry, it reminded me of a British saying, being sent to Coventry. Sent to Coventry is a British idiom, meaning to deliberately ostracise or ignore someone. It implies a form of social punishment where a person or group is excluded from conversation and interaction, effectively treating them as if they don't exist. The phrase's origin is linked to the English Civil War, 1642 to 1651, where captured royalist soldiers were imprisoned in Coventry, which was very much a parliamentarian stronghold. The soldiers were met with hostility and silence from the local population, again acting as if they don't exist. The saying is still very much used in this country today.
This weeping willow almost stretches across the canal. Native to China, the weeping willow was introduced to England in the 18th century. Coventry Basin was designed by renowned canal engineer James Brindley and created by the Coventry Canal Company to connect the city centre to Fradley Junction in Staffordshire. The canal basin was completed in 1769 and the connecting route to Fradley was completed 1790, sadly after his death. He is commemorated by a statue that stands at the entrance to the basin.
At 3 a.m. one morning, whilst in the basin, I was wide awake and decided to go for a walk. On my way back, I had this vision where I saw this massive person stood leaning on the stern of the back of a boat. It took me by surprise and I didn't know what it was for a moment, but it turned out to be James Brindley's statue that Cindy had mentioned earlier in the video. Note to self, take some coffee before going for an early morning walk.
This mural commemorates the Coventry weavers. In the early 1700s to the 1860s, Coventry was a major centre for silk ribbon weaving, with half of its population involved in the industry. This period saw a transition from handloom weaving in homes to larger scale factory production. While the industry experienced a golden age in the early 19th century, it ultimately declined due to mechanisation and changing fashions. Off to explore the city centre, just about to start filming, and this creature decided he was going to take a rest on my camera. Formerly a chapel dating back to approximately 1340, this building was situated within the Hospital of St. John the Baptist, established in the 12th century. Following the dissolution of monasteries, the chapel underwent a transformation and was converted into a free grammar school known as King Henry VIII School around 1550. The school relocated to its current location in 1885. Presently, the building holds the status of a scheduled ancient monument. Sir Donald Gibson was Coventry's first city architect and created the first pedestrianised shopping precinct. Appointed in 1938 at just 29 years old, he was regarded as a pioneer modern architect, and his work made him one of the most influential architects of his generation. Rather than the high street, where traffic and pedestrians mixed, he believed that there was a great need for spaces in cities where pedestrians could move about freely and safely in precincts and arcades. The writing in this water feature reads, "The threads of Coventry are woven together daily by all of us who call this city home." Took a look at the Coventry Transport Museum to find that they were hosting a Triumph Bonnets Up Day. In 1885, Siegfried Bettmann and Moritz Schult from Germany founded the company Bettmann & Co. and started selling Triumph bicycles from premises in London, and from 1889 started making their own machines in Coventry. In 1902 they expanded into motorcycles, and by 1918 were Britain's largest motorcycle maker. In 1921 the company bought the Dawson Car Company and started producing a 1.4 litre car called the Triumph 1020. In 1927 the Triumph Super 7 was introduced. In 1930 the company changed its name to Triumph Motor Company, and in 1960 the company was bought by Leyland Motors Limited. The Triumph marque is now owned by BMW, but as you can see, the Triumph car is still very much loved. This one is my favourite, I suppose because it's so iconic. At the outskirts of the museum stands a statue of Sir Frank Whittle, the inventor of the turbojet engine. Back at our boat Tumbleweed, we said goodbye to a lovely couple we had become friends with, Mark and Claire, on narrowboat Misty Waters.
If you've seen one of my previous videos where I cooked garlic and ginger chili chicken with peppers, this is the same ingredients, but I'm putting potatoes with it instead of chicken and peppers, and I'll let the sauce simmer quite dry before I serve, but I'll show you what it looks like when it's finished. But if you want to watch the previous video, the ingredients and method is the same.
And this is what the ginger and garlic potatoes look like. I'm having it served with salad and halloumi cheese, or what I call squeaky cheese.
Hello again. Thank you for watching our video. We were going to close the video sitting outside because it's beautiful weather, 31 degrees outside, but Toffee struggles a bit and she's actually just at our feet here, sat in front of the fan, panting away. So excuse the fan burring, but I think it's necessary for her. But it is cooler on the boat, so we didn't do this bit outside. We thought we'd do it inside. We're still here. It's Wednesday. We arrived last Friday at the Canal Basin, but we're still here because we've been informed from Compost Toilets that our composting toilet will be ready and delivered tomorrow. So that's exciting. So I'm going to do some footage for next week about taking out the cassette toilet, which we've sold, and that's being collected on Friday.
Yeah.
Because you advertised that last night, didn't you?
Yeah.
And we've sold it already. And with I think 5 or 6 people waiting in the wings, that if this lady doesn't want it, then other people have offered to come and take it away. Yeah, so that's exciting, isn't it? So the wormery is in the bow, and that's been set up for a couple of weeks now. So I want to do a bit of footage on that and show you how that's doing. So we wanted to get that ahead of time so the worms could settle before they start eating things. Probably the best way to put it. So that's going to be part of next week's video, and we're probably going to leave on Saturday. Leave the basin on Saturday, but we haven't really decided where we're going next, so we're going to have a think about that, and also look at the notifications, because there's a lot of closures, a lot of restrictions. When I say closures, they're mostly lock closures because of the water levels, so we really need to look at that and make sure that wherever we decide to go we can actually get there, don't you think?
Yeah. But we've really loved Coventry.
Yeah, it's been lovely, isn't it?
Yeah, lovely. And we've seen the modern parts of it and the ancient parts of it, and really enjoyed ourselves.
I actually love the Triumph car bit.
Yeah, that was
outside the
brilliant.
museum. That was really good fun, and we met a lot of people enthusiasts in that, and people were just so upbeat about all these Triumph cars being. And I didn't actually realise that Triumph was Coventry based.
No, I didn't.
So that was something that we seem to fall upon, these things that are happening, which is kind of spontaneous but really good fun for us actually. But that's most places we go, something's going on, isn't it? So that's been really good fun.
Yeah. So we're going to leave this video here. If you'd like to make a comment, please do so. We read and answer all of them. It'd be lovely to hear from you. So thanks again, and we hopefully see you in the next video.
Thank you for watching.
Bye bye.
Bye.